Welcome to Fraud Friday, pre-Christmas edition. BlueAcorn, Part 3. Delaney, Sexton, editor extraordinaire for the Coleman Report. We specialize in media to bankers about small business lending. For those of you who are new to our reporting, very quickly, tell us about this beautiful couple, Stephanie Hockridge and Nathan Reese.
Well, this couple decided at the start of the pandemic, or actually not the start, a little bit into the pandemic, to open BlueAcorn, which was a loan service provider. And while their goal was to help small businesses, the government seems to say something a little different. They were just indicted with 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and 4 counts of wire fraud.
Be more specific. Tell us what the conspiracy and the fraud is alleged.
Well, part of it is something we're going to get into today. Some of that is related to their personal PPP loans, but that also was in relation to how they ran BlueAcorn. Essentially, the government is accusing them of facilitating PPP fraud, allowing that to go through, taking illegal kickbacks, and just running a little bit of a sketchy business.
That generated over $1 billion in fees from the Treasury Department, correct?
Correct. 1 billion with a B.
Yes. Last week we talked about that. We talked about their sketchy, I love that term, sketchy operation. But not only did the fraud extend to making or looking the other way for funding these loans, and the reason why they funded these loans was because of the fees they generated from Treasury. So they were incentivized to do this. Well, part of that, the Treasury said you had to do a number of things. One of them was look out for fraud and verify eligibility. Allegedly, they did not do that. But not only did their greed stop there, they also got PPP loans for themselves. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Go ahead, hit us.
Well, this is a continuation of the congressional report from the end of 2022, and this is getting information from the indictment just to let everybody know out at the front. But so the congressional report said that Reese and Hockridge took home $300,000 in PPP loans. 200,000 of that came from BlueAcorn and their most important business partners. And there was actually somebody at BlueAcorn who said that they had no formal controls or policies whatsoever for making loans to insiders. And I can see why there were no policies or formal controls. So in the indictment, it said that Reese and Hockridge fabricated tax documents, doctored bank statements, and made other material misrepresentations, including, and we mentioned this before, Reese allegedly said that he was a military veteran and an African American in at least one application that is contradicted in several other PPP loan applications. And the congressional report said that this could have been done to take advantage of changes made in early 2021 to prioritize veteran and minority-owned businesses.
What is sad about this reporting, Delaney, is we've heard from a number of you who have said we were personally hurt by BlueAcorn's actions. They strung us along. They said we're going to get funding. We never got the funding. They lost our application. Delaney, these were true mom and pop Main Street businesses whose businesses were severely affected by the stay-at-home orders and the closing down of downtown United States main streets, and the greed that they're personally exhibiting is definitely compounded with the harm that they did. Let's talk about the PPP loans that they took for themselves and did not take the time to make sure other people who were eligible got funded.
Yes, which I just want to build off of your statement a little bit. It's quite interesting to me. Again, these are allegations, so just keep that in mind. But these PPP loans were such a drop in the ocean compared to the amount of fees that they took home, taking away that lifeline that all these small businesses needed. It's, I personally don't really see the purpose in any of it.
Well, it's $200,000. It's greed. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. So Mr. Nathan Reese, he had Juice. There was Juice Inc. and Juice LLC. So he submitted an application that falsely stated that Juice Incorporated paid Reese, Hawkridge, and other employees. This is from the indictment. They said that
I was going to say,
is
your
not the
source
case.
is two things. It's from the indictment. It's also from the congressional record. So this is from the indictment. Go ahead.
And then there was another application that said Juice LLC made more than $118,000 in profit in 2019. But just a few months later, they found an email that said Juice LLC was not active in 2019, and that came directly from Reese.
And put this into context, the rules for PPP were very clear. You had to have an operating business in February of 2020 in order to be eligible for funding. I don't know the exact date, but it was a February 2020. You had to be active. More importantly, not necessarily active, you had to have employees. Remember, the purpose of PPP loan was to give employers money to cover payroll. That's what we were doing. The government made the decision, instead of having all these people hit the street, get unemployment, it would be cheaper and better for the United States economy to keep payrolls going through the entrepreneurs. And that's outside the scope of this video, but the government was widely successful in that endeavor. Unfortunately, a few bad actors took advantage of the situation. Tell me about body politic.
Now, this portion is also from the indictment.
Thank you.
Body politics was more of Hawkridge's business. The PPP application stated that they were a software company that had a net profit of $110,470 in 2019. So based on that, they were able to get a $19,832 PPP loan on behalf of Body Politics. And then there was a second PPP loan application. That falsely stated that Body Politics experienced a 25% reduction in gross receipts between the second quarter of 2019 and the second quarter of 2020. So again, based on these misrepresentations, allegedly, Hawkridge was able to obtain another $20,832 loan.
As I said, the Congress highlighted this, but a lot of people got hurt. Again, let's summarize what's happening. Stephanie Hawkridge and Nathan Reese have been indicted on 5 counts, and we will follow this story up as more details come to light. Delaney, excellent reporting. Merry Christmas. Happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Have a
Talk to
good
you
one.
next year.